Oh, all right. Happy Thanksgiving Eve, everybody. If that's a thing. This is going to be part two of my 2006 Boston Green Line trip. Yesterday we kind of spent a lot of time at Penn Station before we went out to Riverside Reservoir on the which is the intermediate terminal between at the where the B, C, and D branches of the Green Line all sort of terminate, or not. Well, the C and the B terminate, and the D keeps going to its ultimate terminal at Riverside. That's where this video is going to take you. The point was, I was sort of aware that the Boeing LRVs might not quite be long for the world, so I was trying to go out and ride some. I think I'd ridden one earlier in the past, but I couldn't really remember. Anyway, we left off at Cleveland Circle. Let's see if anyone's we got at least one person here. Didn't think I needed to remind what's his name? Hold on. Brian. But okay. Anyway, I got a lot of stuff to cover today, so I'm not gonna. Photos wait for no man. So anyway, we're still at Cleveland Circle. I think I just zoomed in on Riverside. Wikimapia is working again. So here's your greater Boston area. That's what used to be the old Reservoir shops. And we are now out on what used to be a New Haven Railroad commuter line out to Riverside. This was, again, an early 1950s transit conversion project that converted a marginal commuter rail service into a high-frequency transit service. In this case, via the Green Line, which would have been, I think, a PCC operation up until the Type 7s or the Boeing LRVs came on in the late 1970s. So again, we're just doing a quick thing. We stopped off. So these photos will be taken here at the Cleveland Circle terminal. And note there is a diversion branch to get out to the B line. So here, K car number 3635. There's definitely oh, this is interesting. This is before iPhones, so iPods were doing a big ad blitz. I saw, especially on transit, they had big posters up in 30th Street Station. But again, this is not for an iPhone; it's just for the iPod. Probably the classic one that they don't support anymore and they're all dying. All right, next, take this bit. See if anyone's dropping in here. We got 2 people watching. That's good. Had a busy day out doing my pre-Thanksgiving NEC stuff. I had plans to go into the Philly tomorrow and do some urbexing on the Reading branch, but I don't think I should probably. Part of it is I might want to wait till it's a little colder, and I should try to also find someone to do that with. I'm not entirely sure where this is. I'm betting it's Cleveland Circle, but I could be wrong. Nope, we're at Riverside. So, moving out to Riverside. I should have done that last Cleveland Circle photo yesterday, but I wasn't thinking. Riverside's quite a bit ways out. I mean, I can't necessarily tell what the station density is. I mean, there's a lot of stations on the B and the B and the C. Your A Watertown went out that way. Is that water? Yeah, the A Watertown went out pretty far too. Anyway, But the reservoir is only about maybe even half the distance that they extended this thing out to Riverside. It goes a while. I've used it Riverside once to go to a hockey game, a Boston University hockey game, and then we parked at coming in from Albany. We parked at the river, or I'm not sure if I came in from Albany. How did we get in there? I can't remember if I took a separate route or we parked there. Because I don't remember. I don't remember coming in that way. Because I didn't remember parking there. Like, my friend came in from Albany and I came in from Philly. We met in Boston and I drove back out to Albany. Anyway, the whole point was that it was designed to be right off what then was the novel Route 128. So it has direct freeway access, beltway access, direct Mass Pike access. This is a pretty forward-looking type of, it's, again, converting an infrequently used commuter line into high-frequency transit with a direct road link. It's also adjacent to the MBTA commuter rail near CP11. In fact, if I want to get out for photos at CP11, if it's possible, I would probably try to get out and walk, but that's not looking too. That might not be entirely feasible. Oh, there's the old New Haven branch going there. All right, sorry to be all whatever. Also, this is the primary maintenance facility for the MBTA. So you have 3642 at Riverside. And there's 3712. Let's see what we have here. I'm not sure what signal that is. Just got Z markings on it. I'm sure it's got a punch box too, but I can't see what's up. How many tracks are on this station? Appears to be 3. Or is it just 2? It just looks like it's... Oh, they just have the 2 tracks, but one of them is a gauntlet track. Alright. That's track 2. So this would be track 1. So here are our Boeing LRVs. As you can, notable for their flat front. As I said yesterday, I always say that the Type 7s were an homage to the PCC, and the Type 8s were an homage to the Boeing LRVs. So in theory, the Type 10 should be an homage to the Type 7s. One of these was... It's a shame that Boston didn't keep one or more of these around for like a historic type of thing. I think DC Muni is. And they might have even bought some from here just to make that happen. I could have sworn I remember riding these once, because I remembered like the faux wood interior, very 70s. I'm also not sure if when they entered service, if they were in that dull green color, the green and white, or if these are a throwback scheme, or it's a throwback scheme to the PCCs, and they were never an original MBTA scheme. So this is 3448 and 3496. Oops. Just a side view of the same. So the issue with riding them is that at this time, because when they're this close to, as they were sort of getting less reliable around and the Type 8s were coming in, they'd kind of been restricted to rush hour service only. Sometimes a system will, as a train gets older and less reliable, they'll usually start to pull it out. So I wasn't in Boston enough to catch the different phases of retiring cars. But sometimes what you see is you'll start seeing the older vehicles start being like rush hour only, because they don't have the new ones in stock, and they're worried that they can, that they'll be able to, they're trying to nurse them along. Then as soon as those new cars start arriving, they'll start running the old cars all the time, even especially on weekends especially, because they want them to fail. They'll run them until they fail, and then they pull them out of service. And that's right toward the end. It's like that extra shot of adrenaline before you die. That's what SEPTA was doing with the 2s and 3s. And I've seen this in a couple of other fleets where stuff is never run, and then suddenly it's run all the time, and then it's gone. So you're 3429. Five 54, 55, 14. Total between Muni and Boston, about 200 of these were made, which is a respectable number. I had the Boeing LRV sheet up. These are supposed to be a standard light rail design that could be sold to multiple systems, specifically SEPTA, Boston, and Union San Francisco as a PCC replacement. I guess Pittsburgh and other ones. We had a lot of PCC. Remember, this is they came online in 1978. 76. And you go back 40 years, you're in the 1936. That's when a lot of the PCCs were coming online. Although PCCs were, still put in up through the early 50s. The PCCs were starting to go end of life, and these were designed as a way that any PCC user could just use these things. It did not work. So let's see. MBT got 144. Muni got 131. Someone started rejecting them at one point. They were so bad. I can't quite remember who that. I'm not here to read the history out, but ultimately one of the two buyers started just outright was like, nope, we're done. And then I think the other one either took them on. I think the other user, again, it's the only Muni, and the other took on the remainder. This is my typical thing of looking how to spell scissors. Okay. Yeah, okay. Boston was the one that ultimately rejected them. And they just kept running their PCCs until the K cars came online in the late 80s. Sorry, they're not real K cars. They're kinky cars. I just want to call it. I mean, the kinky shower begins with K as well. And again, just a lot of these were, I don't know. Again, we weren't really wandering through the yard. And you can get right up close and personal, because the yard is directly adjacent to the giant parking lot. So we just, wandered all the way over here, and that's not really the yard. It's like the shop. So we just walked along the edge of the road there, and right now you can see, because as they were getting the 8s in, the yard was absolutely full. of both the 8s and the 7s, 8s, and other stuff. Oh, I should also mention that some of the 7s you'll see an 8 on the coupler. Those are the ones that were modified to be able to MU with an 8. Today you'll see a lot of 7-8 pairs because they use the 8 as the ADA car. 3515. And another view of 3515. I think Uni does want one of these to eventually join its to be a more active member of its historic fleet. Apparently, also one of these ended up in the UK. Well, one or two, and it was like sitting derelict by the side of the car, like the side of the like when Muni was getting rid of theirs in the late 80s. They sold one or two as trial units to a city in London, in the UK. They are ultimately not picked up. They wanted to have a low-cost metro, and these were available. They were not bought, but they sat, like the two prototypes just sort of sat there for a while. I don't know what happened if they made it to a museum or got scrapped. Oh, 3451. Man, we were starting to really go around the loop there. Was that 34? This is 3415, right? Yeah. And who's this guy over there? Something 04. I guess it'd be 3504. Yep. Okay, so I'm getting told that the ones in the UK were sent to I think they were looking for that Manchester Metro Link light rail, or it's called Metro, or something like that. And then they were like, "Nope, not going to work." Like I said, yeah, were they sent from Boston or Muni? And here we have the main Riverside yard. But again, it's a healthy mix of 7s and Boeings. But nothing was running, midday at least, nothing was running with a Boeing. I don't know what opportunities I had again, it was there where I went to see a friend, and it was just, hey, let's try to catch a Boeing LRV. And we went out there, and it was like, well, they're not running now. And I don't know the reason, like, we couldn't I don't know why. Okay, the one that went out to England was a Boston one. Yeah, I just don't know why I didn't try harder or what the deal was. I remember when I was out there, it was just like, oh, they're not, we thought we could catch one on a something. We're like, I guess they're not running now. But specifically for this thing, I'm sure that I was running on a short amount of time. It's one of those things I can do a perpetual calendar. This is 2006, July. The 2nd would have been a Sunday. Oh, you know what I did? I probably went up to work on... I probably came up on like a Saturday or something. Stayed for like... Or maybe I came up on the Sunday. Stayed over on the Monday. Maybe I just didn't have a lot of time. I'm not sure what I would have been doing. This would have been literally my first year of work. I wouldn't have had a lot of... I wouldn't have had much time off. So it's entirely possible that I came up on like a weekend. Like I probably came up maybe on Friday, on Saturday the 1st. Or if no, I came up overnight. Hold on. And the overnight was the 2nd, because I remember it from that video. Oh crap, I lost it. So that would have been a Saturday to Sunday. Huh. So maybe I was only up there for the day. I don't know what I was doing, but I guess I was time constrained. I just didn't have the time to really catch riding one. This is still before I was in a position to really appreciate riding stuff. Like there was a ACMU 1100 trip. Now I went out and I got an ACMU 1100 ride. Oh man, I don't know which number this is. But I wasn't really... Hold on 1 second. Let me try to find out what number that guy is. First off, it's a K car. It looks like it's that one down there. 3647. It would be... $34.47. I think that's the one. Yeah, I don't see what else it would be. So here's where things are going to go a little bit off the rails. Somewhat figuratively, although I'm not entirely sure. And that's because I might be out of MBTA stuff. Oh, wow, we got a lot of people in the chat here. I believe for the Silverliners, there's at least a 2 around. I'm not sure about 3s, but there are plenty of those Arrow 1s out in California in everyday service. Yeah, here's where things are going to get a little weird. And it's something that I did this, and I bet it's still there, but I never, ever, ever hear it mentioned about. Wait, something's wrong. Wait, hold on. Oh, yep. I missed 2 again. Hold on. 60 and 58. Derp. I thought I solved that problem. Just 2 things. So back in the day, my program that would reorient the photos I forgot to change the timestamp on it. So if I'm not careful, I'll I'll view them in date order, and then it'll skip over, or I'll load them in, I'll have them in date order instead of name, and I'll miss a couple of the ones that got reformatted. This will just take a second. And this is just a spring switch at Riverside. I think it's the track 1 spring switch. Oops. Heck, got it. All right. Sorry about that. One, two. All right. There you go. So anyway, the next thing that we're seeing is, I assume that this is still here. I don't know. It's very strange. There's a really neat historic textile museum at Lowell. It's somewhere near, I guess it's near UMass Lowell. Well, let's go up there. Let's look up on the old map. So that's unfortunately kind of the bit for the Boeing LRVs. I saw them, didn't get to ride one. I think I've ridden one at some point in my life when they were just more ambient around the area. So people hear about Lowell and its role in the Industrial Revolution. Again, sorry to get. Why does this matter? Why is Lowell important? What was up with Lowell? Lowell is important because it was a source of water power. It had this giant power canal there. If I go to another different map, you can see how everything was able to, the Lowell waterfall and power dam are located right over there. And they were able to divert all the water in the 1830s to power just this giant industrial complex. It doesn't look like much today. Remember, the United States was effectively China at the time. China, and U.S. and U.K. were taking the roles that China holds today, and because just that simple thing of replacing human people making socks or cloth by automated powered machines, that was a Tesla level advance for the time. So again, as soon as that type of low value labor wasn't necessary, it moved overseas. But today there is a lot of stuff going on there in terms of it's a tech center. UMass Lowell is somehow involved with it. There is sorry, the interface here is sort of screwed up. And there's also a Park Service museum, like the Industrial Revolution Museum, and it's neat because they actually have a floor of the millworks with the original machinery and belt drives and everything. I'm just not quite sure where it is. There it is. It's the boot and cotton mill. Last cotton mills to close in Lowell National Historic Site, includes an operating weave floor, interpretive displays, condominiums. So you can live there too. So the other neat part about it is that it has a trolley museum. It has a functional trolley system. And we'll get into the details on that. I don't know if it's still operating. Might be. it was when I was there. They were running 2 routes. Oh, there's the B&O, and they've got a 060 Boston and Massachusetts steamer as well. So I'm sorry, I'm just tooling around here, looking to see where the trolley might go, or if it's running or not. But we'll get into that as I look through it. It looks like the stuff's still there. But again, no one ever mentions the fact that, like, Lowell has a trolley museum. Well, it's not a trolley museum. It has a trolley system. It's kind of akin to the McKinney Street trolley in Dallas. So I'm sorry for this thing. I'm just sort of checking out. Yeah, look, they got the trolley poles up and everything. Rail looks a little rusty, unfortunately. So might have an issue with. They might have run out of funding money at some point. But no, I don't know. Maybe they're still running it. Well, we'll see. Okay. Anyway, let's get on with the thing. So first off, here's your Boston and Maine number 410. That's clearly still there on the overhead. Given the way things are going these days, and who knows, it might get reactivated, like everything else. I thank my friend for dragging me down there. Because I had a great day. And again, I don't know what day I was there. If this was... and by the way, this is neat because it got slide valves in it, so this is an old-timey one. Also, no, when you see a steam locomotive with all the bolts, the rivet bolts on the boiler visible, that's because the outer sheet metal and lagging have been removed. Lagging is effectively insulation. And insulation means asbestos. So that means that to de-asbestify this, they just ripped off the sheet metal, ripped off the asbestos, and then left it alone. It's not supposed to be that. Normally this would have... There'd be asbestos batting, and they'd have smooth sheet metal, so you would never see those rivets. Oops. Shoot. Okay, so here we have one of the 2 trolleys they were running today. They were running on 2 routes, an A route and a B route. I can go on like this is so this whatever this looks like. What this is? Oh, by the way, note they have wheels on the trolley pole instead of the carbon shoe, which most I forget what's the deal with shoes versus the wheels. You can't necessarily interchange them easily, or they can run into subtle problems if you try to use a shoe bowl. A system that's set up for a wheel. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I need to see what I even named this back in the day. Lowell Streetcar. I have to go to Wikipedia here. Lowell National... What is this? The National Streetcar Museum, Heritage Railway in Lowell, owned by New England Electric Heritage Railway. Blah, blah, blah. Historic park was established. Park acquired 1 closed, 2 open trolleys. Oh, it's on former Boston and Maine Railroad tracks. Okay. They run March to November, connecting the park and downtown of the city. These three regular stops are made, as well as several irregular stops upon passenger request. There you go. So it is still operational here. Open 1984. I don't know why it's called the National Streetcar Museum. Wait, oh, hold on. Oh, it's, Neerhs. I'll just say NSM for National Streetcar Museum, if that's the official name. This was at the outer end of the service. Hold on. That was going to be at the... Yeah, it's not Boots Mill, Suffolk Mill, and this is at Visitor Center. So, all or some of these are not actual historic trolleys. They are made by Gomico. Gomico makes reproduction trolleys. There's a builder's plate in them and everything, and they're all wood. They're exactly. It's one of those things, like, talk about supply chain disruption. I mean, if there's a demand for a thing, like all they need is wood and iron, and they can construct a streetcar. I don't know if they use donor trucks. I don't know if they use donor frames. I don't know what part is original or not original, or whatever. But these were these were fabricated in the 80s by brand new, effectively new. Again, I don't know if they might have had some donor parts in them. Let's see if I can find a Wikipedia thing for Gomico. I had no idea that this sort of GOMACO, Gomico Trolley Company, is so that founded in 1982, vintage style streetcars. Gomico overhauled, rebuilt. They did stuff for So they're basically, if you're going to be running a heritage trolley, if your city wants to open one of these up, Gomico's the one-stop shop. They did they've done a whole bunch of things. So anyway, these are made by Gomico. I'm not sure if Gomico first branched out in trolley manufacture, was a successful bidder on a contract to supply 2 reproductions of turn-of-the-century era streetcars to be built at Lowell. So in 1601, that was the one I showed you. In 1602 will be the 2 Lowell Gomico ones. Yeah, okay. So they do have a legitimate New Orleans Percy Thomas car, and then they have 2 Gomico rebuilds. I'm guessing they would have been both those open cars. This is kind of a crummy day, so we rode they had the closed car out. It is cool that you have such a crazy niche manufacturer that's able to be doing this for the better part of 40 years on a thing that probably just sees a pittance of, or that would see the smallest pittance of market. I think that's going to be a Lowell. So where is Visitor Center? I guess at Visitor Center was right. 1 second. Yeah, there's the Visitor Center next to the doohickey. What am I looking at? That's Lowell City Hall in the background. Oops, too much sharpening. There we go. So yeah, if you're anywhere near Lowell and you haven't ridden the Lowell streetcar, I highly recommend it. I'm pretty sure that they were free. Here's just a neat bit. Again, all of these things were pretty much although they got started in the 19th century, these mills were kind of in operation up through about the 1950s or 60s. At a certain point, the reason New England just seems to have no railroads left in it anywhere that aren't either passenger or some ultra minor kind of failing short line is because, again, they were all designed for serving these mills. It's a very antiquated. Not only did things get out of these multi-story structures that were built around water supplies. These are by the Swamp Locks Gatehouse, is what I'm mentioning there. It just, all this sort of industry just went from chugging along to gone in the space of about a decade. So that's what zapped all the rail service up there. Gotcha. Sorry, just trying to get this photo in. It's one of those things that I'd love to visit again, but I'm never in New England with enough time to go up there. I will. Hold on, I've got other anecdote Lowell stuff here. There we go. All right, next. Number 966 here. This is not the visitor center. This is at the oops. This is at Suffolk Mill. Nice to have a little runaround track. So, next couple of pictures are just stuff from inside the, oh, God. So badly named. All right, hold on one second. Lowell National Historic Park. Okay, I know what to do. So again, they have the whole loom floor with the last bunch of equipment from when the stuff closed. This is pre-cell phone video, so I don't have any, it's sort of static here. But the stuff's all legit. It's really cool, especially the belt drives. You come in to expect each of these having some sort of motor, but they still have that. Again, there's even if it's I'm not sure it's driven by the water, but there's still a motor somewhere that operates all these through the belt drive system. And they will actually go and make fabric, and they'll sell that. So you can go buy some of this. It's not, when I say bad, it's high quality, but the patterns are terrible. It's like nothing you'd want. It's it's appropriate if you've got the DeLorean and you need to go back in time to the 1920s, but it's still pretty neat. So. I should be able to get through these real quick. Not much I can really do about them. And they got the whole. It's not like they have one. They got at least one entire floor of this stuff as it was preserved. Again, when I was there though, it wasn't super interactive. I mean, they didn't hold you back. But there's unlike a Harris Tower. You couldn't really get in there and be changing stuff over or I'm going to do this today. I mean, these things can kind of take, these will eat your fingers. So you couldn't do that degree of stuff. It was also very loud. But you can see the belt drives over there. Really cool. I should definitely go back. You do. I think there is an admission fee for it. So it's not like, you kind of do need to decide to go there. I don't know if it's on the Parks Pass, though. If this is a National Historic Site, It might be if you have a National Parks Pass, or in this case, if you're a active duty military or a veteran, you get lifetime, like you get free Parks Pass type missions. But I don't know if this counts as part of the Parks Pass system. Love to know who they get to maintain all this stuff or how much maintenance it needs. Okay, here's the small outbuilding at the Boots Mill for their little. Okay, I think that's an old mill powerhouse. So let's just roll down there and see if that's the right one. So the boot cotton mill is right there. Whatever. I'm just gonna fake it. But this is what it would have. So everything on that on these canals would eventually each of these mills would have some share of the water that would use to power all the stuff. So again, that's what allowed the increase in productivity that increased, ultimately made life not terrible. And here we just see the how the trolley cuts through the thing there. So before the trolley went in service, okay, sorry, that wasn't Suffolk. That was Boots Mill that I just showed. That 996 was at. I can see the passing track. On the other hand, I don't know where that other track that I just saw is. Okay, so it keeps going. There's the zigzag right there, I think. There it is. That's a park. Oh, it's Jack Kerouac Park. Oh, I see. I get it now. I don't know. I'd have to really dig in to figure out where this was. Let's see where I labeled it. Nope. I'm just gonna lie. Alright. Alright, hopefully people all haven't dozed off due to all the historic mill photos. Double check I'm doing the right one here. If you're ever bored, just remember I don't have big memory cards, so I'll be quickly moving on to something more interesting. Okie doke. Now the first thing I want to figure out is where are those. Okay, wait. I saw like a building with a whole bunch of like walkways. Oh, I keep hitting the. There it is. Okay. That's Lowell High School. One second. All right. So these little tubes are for Lowell High School students to get across the canal. Pretty clever. Despite all the stuff, at least back 20 years ago, or whatever, 15 years, 15 years ago, Lowell is still pretty depressed. I don't know how it's doing these days. The increase in urban, Boston housing prices hopefully have made it a more desirable place to live. Here we have the Suffolk Mill branch of the trolley. I don't know if we rode down there or not. We might have just had I think we wanted to go to Boots Mill, but the trolley just kind of dropped us off here because we didn't want to go to Suffolk, so we just walked back. Don't know why we did that. Oops, 1 second. Trying to speed up here. Okay, so we went all the way back to... that was the last photo. That's all we had. So at this point, we went back to the Lowell passenger station, which is interesting. I did bring this up ahead of time. Oh, I didn't check the chat. All right, what's going on in the chat here? Yeah, extending the Lowell trolley to the commuter rail line would be great. The wheel, so it's not like if wheels or shoes are bad or worse. Wheels dig deeper into the frogs, and if you don't have like a frog that's wheel ready, you can get like dewirements. That's just one of the, again, I'm not trying to argue wheel versus shoe, but if you try to run a wheel on a shoe type of wire frog, sometimes you can get issues. Yeah, Gamaco is not Brookville. Brookville actually makes stuff that Brookville will, they made the SEPTA PCC2s, of course. The canal ones down in the red cars down in New Orleans. But Gamaco is purely historic loop stuff. DC controllers, like they're Hy-Vee, nothing is fancy in those at all. They're almost exactly. It's not like there's a guy who sits down with a little like power brake T-bar handle and it goes doop. No, this is legit. Everything on these is like an old school air compressor, old school heating, old school this. They're you would not know it by necessarily unless you looked at the builder's plate that they were made in like 1984. All right, so here's where I'm going to be a little bit stuck. So the neat part is I've been to Lowell before around CPF BY, where BY Tower is. I walked all the way around it about 2 years ago. Got a lot of, reasonable amount of good photos. This is where the Guilford Rail System, formerly Boston and Maine, freight main line between somewhere in Maine and Sunbury, Pennsylvania, briefly contacts the MBTA commuter rail system to Lowell. The MBTA sort of owns from here up to the junction with the Northern Route main line that goes to Manchester, New Hampshire. Since partly designaled, that will, it's always the once in future MBTA to New Hampshire system. At the station, the trains so as you can see here, I'm going to zoom in here. This is a Guilford point of view. So MBTA trains come here on tracks 3 and 4. They come through CPF BY. They platform at the Lowell station track 3 and 4. If they were to go forward, they would then rejoin. But parallel to those are tracks number 1, number 2. That's the freight main line. I am attempting, so this diagram numbers some of the switches, 93, 87, 89, 91. I need to try to figure out what those switch signal numbers are if I can. I did this before. Some of them have labels on them. Some of them I can guess. But, I don't know. It's going to be weird. But again, this is going to be at CPF-LO, or Lowell interlocking. See, this is where so let's just give some people some quick context here. Zooming out, there's your Lowell Historic Zone, and there is your Lowell Station. So if you want to walk downtown, you've got to leave the station. You walk about, what is it? Less than a mile. In fact, the trolley is like just right there. So yeah, there's not much you need to do to really extend it. I'm betting that there's the old railroad line that comes across. Now you're going to be really hard pressed to get a trolley through that mess of an intersection. Yikes! The Lowell station is, again, it's an island platform partly underneath a parking garage. So we are definitely dealing with CPLO here. At this time, it looked like Guilford had parked some cars on track 3. Or that's on main 2. So, or I'm in this area. So that might be right before switch 89 on track 4. So track 3 might have already folded into the track, and I'm right at that end at switch 89. That's probably what I'm at. So the question is what is the number on this switch or signal? God, this signal's half burnt out. No one's even noticed or cares. Sorry. That one is... See, it's something RC would be lever or something C. Oh, can I see it on this? Oh, come on. I see the 2 letters, but not... I don't have the one piece of information I really, really need. Oh, it's so frustrating. Wait. 90. Okay, it's got a 90. It's 90R on this one. Oh, man. All right, this is the farther one, and this is probably the nearer one, but this makes no sense. Sorry. Because there should be 2 tracks here, unless there's one on the other side. Alright. So I know that at least one of those signals is... So one of them is RC. That implies that... that guy... I could be like completely on the wrong side of the station. I could be over there. Under these siding tracks. I don't know what I did. I really, really, really wanted to get back there so many times. It's definitely on my to-do list because I can just go to the Lowell station. I can get my photos of these things. They're right there at the end of the platform. Now, I'm sure if I go back, there'll be like way increased security or something, and I'll be screwed. But so they'd be even numbered. an RC on it? I don't know. I don't think there's much I can really do to figure out that without really, really guessing. Ugh. Yeah, I didn't even do a good job of trying to label them at the time. Okay, so that looks like a 9 as well. So I'm just going to label them. I'm just going to sort of estimate here. GRS CPFLO 9XRC. There we go. That's the best I can do. Good enough. But the good news is that I can just shoot right through and get these all done. But I will definitely try to make a. I'm gonna be there in the late January, but getting up to Lowell sucks up a huge part of my day. Especially with MBTA's terrible headways. Oh, one interesting thing at Lowell, for everybody who thinks that the textile industry is dead, Lowell is still the home of National Fiber Technologies. It's the good NFTs. They used to go by NFT until that got ruined. National Fiber Technology, they made, for example, the fiber that went into the Chewbacca costumes, both the old ones and the new ones. I'm not sure about the old ones, but I know the new ones did. So this is track 4, by the way, CPFLO. It's interesting how we have this barricaded track, but the signal's still, it's so barricaded they have a stop sign there. This is pretty much that, like, the MBTA does not venture, they have no reason to ever go beyond that. In fact, Guilford can just park a freight train there and no one's going to care. But no, so yeah, and I forget where they are, but they're in Lowell, and they make a lot of good quality products. Very expensive from what I've heard, though. Like hundreds of dollars a yard. Oh, okay, someone knows the signal. That's surprising. All right, give me a second. Wait, who knows the signal numbers? Oh no. So these are not using the NEC style of signal numbers. These actually use the original lever numbers at BY Tower. Like I had this pulled up. So where is it? Here it is. So I was looking ahead here. When you can actually see the things, like this is R118. Now I reverse it as 118R. But that's whatever they were doing. Despite the fact that this is our general railway signal product, they have the Union Switch and Signal L and R numbering system in this area. This is not that uncommon. Every so often you'll encounter that. Normally, if I was looking at a GRS-based system, I would expect they use a different numbering thing, where they do. It's like the NEC system, but it's not. It's not. It's even odds. Odds are switches. Evens are signals. There is a letter prefix, but you also get things like -1, -2s. You can sort of get a vibe on that by looking at other stuff in the interlocking chart. But in this case, like I said, I have a partial cheat sheet. I have the switch numbers and I have the signal locations. When I was over at CPFBY, I had some of the numbers, not all of them, but I had enough to give me like a hint as what the other ones would be. I could sort of fill in the blanks. This one, I know that one of them is an R. So when you see something that's like RC, or it's sometimes on a USNS system, the same lever would control multiple signals. So it'd be like 12RA, 12RB, 12RC, 12RD. I've seen up to like F. So in this case, there's an RC, and then there's another one that's a lever 90L. I don't know what that second number is, so I'm just going to label them as an X in there. If I ever go back, I'll redo it. But this is enough to make them distinct for my numbering purposes. In fact, I'm betting that these would have been repainted. Now you never know. I'm sure they could be re-tagged, but here the lever numbers are stenciled on the top of the sunshade, and I've seen that at A Tower at North Station. But again, when I was there in 2020. You can see that the signals had been repainted recently, and the signal numbers had been stenciled on the side of the housing. This is where I was actually taking photos, and I came across an open signal, like literally just sitting there open. And around the corner, like the signal crew had gone on lunch break, and they never saw me. I was able to jujitsu my way around, and they never noticed me. Because I ninja'd it all the way. And, you know, it's like I didn't do things crazy, but there's that certain type of thing. I forget what it is. It's in certain movies where someone has like perfect information and they're able to walk in just the right place where the person isn't looking. That's what I was able to do. These are 1980s. These are brand new or refurbs at least. Super nice, but again, that's sort of getting ahead of myself there. I'm just trying to get through these quick because I actually have, it's a long session today. I've got 55 photos instead of 48. This is a GRS 5F. If someone remembers my little primer yesterday on how to identify those. It's dual control, but it's got the short. It's got the short housing. There's no motor controller, a built-in motor controller. A 5H or a 5G is going to have this little flat part. It's going to be about 8 inches longer. And I'm betting that is going to be the 93 switch. Just based on my travels, where I am. Wait, what's the direction of travel on this? Is it? No, Boston. Wait, I actually pulled up my MBTA timetable. Oh no, this is a bulletin order. This isn't my timetable at all. I have a lot of NBCR bulletin orders for some bizarre reason. Here's a timetable. Is the Lowell line There we go. New Hampshire route, main line. Direction is north. Okay, so this would be north. Or south. And here we have BY Tower itself. Not a great photo. I don't think I knew the name of this tower when I was first up there. Again, this is why I'm so glad I'm able to redo these photos with proper names, proper labels. Not a good photo. Yeah, I didn't know the name of this tower. I should have, but ugh. It's looking a lot better these days. Looks like they put on some anti-graffiti tag work on it. But when I was there in 2020... Oh, no, wait. It's, that paint is... Maybe just keep applying the anti-graffiti paint again and again. There it was in 2006. There it is. Yeah, it looks almost... Wow, it looks almost identical. I can't believe how similar that is. Even the scratch jobs on the paint bricks there. Whoops, wrong thing. That's really interesting. It's crazy how little that changed. Except there's some fewer weeds. Alright. I was trying to get... Oh, wow. I was doing something like had my camera out the window. That's weird. Because the windows on MBTA trains are notoriously bad for photos. Either the seals are melting, or they're scratched to all Kingdom Come, or they don't have tint problems like Metra, but they usually are just look like they've gone through some sort of sandblast process. So that's what that looks like in 2006. Did I not get it? Did I not get that angle? Yeah, here it is. I mean, kind of. Do I don't have anything looking back on it? Huh, I was so obsessed with taking photos of searchlights, I didn't get a photo looking back through the interlocking where BY Tower was. I tried to get photos up in the operator area to see if there was a model board or anything up there. Did not look like it. I'm assuming it's just a crew base for the MBTA folks now. Lights were on. No one was home, though. I mean, like, there weren't any cars or anything around. Alright. Anyway, that's a nice photo of it, though. Let's see if we have any more things in the chat. Anything there? Oh, cool. Pete, what's up with the, Oh, I mean, they spray painted the old numbers on there pretty recently. Like, that was pretty fresh paint. And like I said, the employee timetable is I'm guessing from yeah, those photos were from 2020. So I'm not sure if they might have changed it in the intervening couple of years there, year or two. Because I know that they were doing some resignaling stuff with the 562. The 562 things through there, but I'm not sure what they would have done in the Lowell terminal, because Springfield terminal needed to share. I mean, Guilford needed to share it. But just to be consistent with the numbering that I already have of it, I need to go and try to figure out like I said, I've already labeled half the signals in the area with the original numbers based on the timetable here. I saw something else there. Yeah, it's odd that you can have an interlocking where like two different railroads are using two different directions. Oh, anyway, what is in BY Tower anyway? Is it just an office? Is the interlocking machine still in there? I don't go for their rebranding. Well, I mean it's CSX now, but I refuse. I will never use that dipshit's stupid name. You don't have to go for people's stupid rebrandings. I'm not calling it Meta. It's Facebook. Don't let corporations or weird rich guys manipulate you like that. All right, I gotta fit. You keep saying stuff there. I gotta get the last couple of photos going, because again, it's a long set today. There we go. Now, before I do this, I got two little bits and pieces. First off, I have. I'm gonna know which. I have those guys. I've got a blurry Guilford Jeep with a Southern Pacific boxcar that I can't get the numbers off of. Where is this? Oh, I know where that is. That's the same location. Boy, it has really changed. Okay. I need to do a couple of things here. First off, I can identify what those are in my 2020 photos. Or can I? Let's see. What was I looking at? I'm looking at this guy here. And yeah, there it is. Oh, God, I wish I had wider angle photos on this stuff. There it is. There's my wider angle photo. Okay. Those two guys are the 124L and the 126L. Here they are. And the 119 switch. Wait, sorry. Oh, I have this labeled as the 118. So yeah, I didn't label it right. 118L, 122L, and the 119 switch. Where is that? I didn't put them in the thing yet. Okay. So I got two more sets. A few more of these. I go to Leachmere, so there is more green line action. Okay. Am I looking at the right direction here? There's BY Tower. Yeah, I don't think that's the right. No, yeah, that's not the right direction. That's the one. That's not the 118 and the 122. It's going to be those two right there. Yeah, I was looking at the wrong ones. Because, okay, where are they? Yeah, there's those buildings. Okay, 124L and the 126L. And I can read the name of the switch off the diagram. $124, $126, and what is that one? That's outside of interlocking limits. That's the 123. Okay. I'm not going to really go into that switch because you can't see it, so I'm just going to not label it. There we go. Yeah, that hand throw stand is not there anymore. That's a low stand now. I'm not sure it has the E-lock on it. Whoop, 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 whoop. Okay. Yep, okay. This is CPFBY 26L. I'm not going to get fancy with trying to rename these. Don't care. Okay, here we have a, looks like a main central Jeep. Some sort of number on it. Did I attempt that back in the day? No. God, hate. Sometimes I'm good. Looks like number 381. I think that's a valid Guilford number. I know that they had a lot of 3-digit stuff. Pete, what was this? Did they keep that same name for that yard? Whatever was there doesn't seem to be very yardy anymore. In fact, it looks completely abandoned. I think I'm looking at where it. Yeah, that would have been that. Would they have called that Bleachers Yard 20 years ago? Looks like they're doing some transloading operations. 853003. 853003. Okay. I like that name. I might just call it that name though, because that makes good. That makes a good. It's never gonna come up again. So. Oops. What am I doing here? Date. That's the one. All right. Ugh. We're almost past the slow stuff. Thank you for helping out, by the way, everyone. Yeah, it's crazy how much this has changed. When I was rummaging around there 2 years ago, it was way more overgrown. Here it looks like there's activity going on. It looks sort of not like post. It looks like you're in the middle of Ohio, where there used to be a cement factory and it's gone. You can still see the tower for the old, the light stanchion. There's weeds all in the track. At least when I was there 2 years, again, I always have these weird senses of time. Not that there's not weeds still in the track. Look, there's still some freight going on. There's the wide picture I wanted. In fact, when I popped up here to get to the tower, I had to cross behind that bunch of freight cars to get through them. Let's see if I can find just a good photo. Yeah, well, I guess the grass is definitely still there. Well, that's right. There's a lot of grass. But those trees, specifically I'm looking at those trees. The trees over there have definitely sprung up. This was taken in September of 2020. Are these photos. I'm just trying to get a good... I just was not caring about wide-angle shots that day. All right, what am I looking at? It's the... Okay. I'm on New Hampshire MBTA Track 2. That's the 141 switch, and then that's the 135 switch. Yep, those are the two. Got it. Got it, got it, got it. Oops, too dark. 141. I just always just try to get enough labeling to make it unique so I'm not overrunning myself. I have to give them two different directions. There we go. Oh, whoops. Wait, what did I do here for rename? Oh, I just named this all BY. There is no CPF because this is getting in my weird how I do naming conventions. See, certain things, it's not that whether it's correct or not correct. It's more I have to abide by certain naming conventions for my own system. So, for example, if there is a tower active or if there's a tower that's generally attached to an interlocking, even if the tower is closed, if I have photos of the tower, I try to keep the tower. I give it a tower. Everything part of the interlocking a tower name I associate it with the tower. Because when you're looking for the tower, it helps to see all the stuff around it. If it's been completely re-signaled and has no relation to it, then I'll break that. But it's not being like, oh no, I know exactly what whatever they're, if I was if someone was saying no, the signals have this real designation now. It's like, well, they're already labeled. I labeled them in the past. I can't go and break designation because then it's harder for people they're gonna have to look in two different places. It's like, trying to maintain my informal database consistency. Okay, great. That one's solved. I think our next one is we have this nice photo of Tower A. It's funny, the photos of Tower A are now better because they don't have big dig shoring in front of them. This one I should hopefully not need to do. This is like the one time I can use the name for my original thing. So I know I got this name right. No, I did not get it right. Ugh. How am I going to do this? Tower and whoops. Yeah, I got it. One sec. There we go. So yeah, you can still kind of see it today. I'm not sure how recent I have a Tower A photo. I can dig one up. I know I can real quickly here. I used to always get a lot of Tower A photos when I went up to use the Downeaster. Come on. There it goes. Come on, no. There, here we go. So here we have Tower A right now with its, hey, don't fall down posts. But as you can see, there's almost no sign of that old big dig shoring that was there for a while. It's nice that it's there. I know that I've seen a couple of photos of the big old US&S machine that used to be in there. This is a nice angle on it too. Really nice angle on it. Again, temporary. It's almost like a Bailey bridge going above that. Oh man, I'm not a big dig expert at all. In terms of being able to know exactly what temporary bridges went in when. But I did pull up the North American interlocking stuff for Massachusetts. Oh, there's only one photo. It's not mine. So I have seen internal photos of the machine in there, and it was pretty impressive. Okay. here is the Leachmere bus depot. I believe this may or may not still be there. I know that they demolished the old Green Line loop, but the bus facility was there last I looked on at least the overhead. I love how it's like no CNG buses. Like, you know, we're going to spring a leak and cause an explosion. Oops. Might have oversaved some of these. Alright, good enough. The now gone Leachmere yard. So, interesting fun fact. One of the major hang-ups to certain MBTA rolling stock considerations was that there was the tightest, from what I've heard, the tightest curve on the Green Line was in Leachmere Yard. So that was the thing that they had to make equipment towards, and by getting rid of that curve in the Leachmere loop, not in the yard, I mean the loop there. Like, it's not, you couldn't just avoid it, it was the loop. By getting rid of that station and ripping out the loop, they were able to give themselves a bit more flexibility on rolling stock. I'm not sure if Type 8s were restricted from going to Leachmere or not. They might have been, they might not have been. Again, that's a thing I don't know it off the top of my head. It might have been that that's where they kept derailing. So we have 30, by the way, it's 3693, 3685. 3683 and 3695. Unfortunately, the Google Earth has rolled over, so you can no longer see the old loop, I'm pretty sure. Let me take a quick check. But I'm pretty sure that it's been paved over in the overhead. Oops. Yeah, they did. I will say that even though it cost $1 bajillion, the new Green Line, the two new Green Line branches to Medford and Union Square are pretty well done. Yeah, so the old ramp is there. It looks like the rest of it's now an MBTA car park. Unfortunately, you can still see it. You can just see the loop. That's the one right there. Right where I'm doing the mouse over, was like the tightest loop on the Green Line, and that was something that like was a major. That was the requirement. There it is. There's the famous the leach. I wasn't even taking a picture of it at the time. I only heard this later. But it might have even been that inner one. But these are the ones that again were the tightest ones on the system. Not going to Leachmere is so. I'm clearly at Leachmere. I went there at least once. I think I've been there a couple of times. In 2020, early 2020, February, I was in Boston, and I went and I did a bunch of Orange Line riding because I was worried that the Hawker Sidleys were about to be, they're going to go, the CRC cars are coming in, and I failed to think about going out to Leachmere. And the next time I was in Boston, I think it was the next winter. I went to Boston. Whenever I went there, I was like a day late and a dollar short. They had just like 2 months previously, they had just closed Leachmere Station. Or I even had a chance to go there and I forgot about it. And I whatever it was. It was like, I think I closed like right after when I did those Orange Line rides. I should have gone out to Leachmere, not just gratuitously ridden the Orange Line down to Arbor Way. So even today, I'll make those mistakes. we go. I gotta say, you gotta give it to Apple. They plastered the heck out of these with the iPod ads, and then within within a year of this, everyone's iPod would be obsolete. So, don't trust Apple. They don't have your interest at heart. They'll keep pushing their stuff, even if it's going to get obsoleted. Although I don't think that they have much more innovation in the tank. So, whatever. Okay, here we have 3693 again. And our other friend. Did I say 83? Oh, it's 93. All right. Now, I apologize if this is going to go a little bit long. I have bonus photos from... they were actually on another roll or memory card. They were in another folder, and they are clearly part of this trip. So I need to put them all in this trip. Wait, what's going on? There it goes. So, hey, we got some more Leachmere stuff. 6 miles an hour. I don't care about this sign. I don't know why I took this picture. Cut that out. This is... Yeah, this is like the South Side Loop, or this is... Leachmere was such a neat little... it was so close to downtown, but it was just like this neat little stop. Again, I really regret not going out there. It was just nothing ran out there. The E was always it was always tough to catch a train to Leachmere. Nothing ever wanted to go out there. I remember trying to get out there once, and I had to wait 20 minutes for a train. That's the reason I didn't go. I never went to Leachmere, because they would discharge you outside of fare control. So if to go to Leachmere, you'd have to burn a fare. That's why I never went out there. So I could be wrong, but I'm almost positive that they would discharge you, like at Wonderland, they would discharge you outside of fare control. So again, if you want to go out there, if you're just joyriding, they're going to burn a fare. I think that little thing in the corner of things means I was putting this through a fence. You gotta love kinky shot. I don't know who, if MBTA specified they wanted their design to look like a PCC, or Kinky just was, got that vibe and ran with it. But they did a fantastic job with how the Type 7s looked. I forget if PCCs were technically Type 6s, or if PCCs technically or actually did not have an official type. Because I know they had Type 5s. There's a Type 5 sitting at that historic collection in the subway, not Bowdoin, whatever that, maybe it is that station. So here we have But I asked someone, I could never get an answer if it was, I forget what the answer was. One of those two. It's either they are Type 6s, but they never called them that. They just called them PCCs, or they never had one of those type designations. I think they didn't have it. They weren't officially a type. All right, there we go. Yeah, I'm not sure. Again, that inner loop might have been the one that was causing all that was would cause the derailments. And that's also, yes, they would. I'm looking at this configuration now. I'm almost positive that they would drop you outside of fare control. You have to walk around and swipe back in. Oh, I hated that. Note those 8s on the coupler there. That means that these, this 3661, also 3608. They have the new paint scheme and everything. Those are all Type 8 compatible. So these can MU and run with a Type 8. I'm pretty sure they all are now, but they had that for a while when there was ambiguity. So we are finally out of Boston. Here we have Groton Tower, SS 119, and New London. I'm going to see what again. I hope I should be able to use the previous name on that one, but I don't think it's in this bunch of photos. It would be in the old B&O Railroad Museum bunch. And I just eliminated those names. So just 1 second. Just got to find those. Are they in there? They should be in there. Maybe I overwrote them already. Oh, I did, and I deleted them. Oh, crap, I don't know what those are called. I'll just pull them up this way. Not him, not him. That's the one. I think that's the one at least. Let's see. Yeah, that's it. Again, some of my early tower names, if I got a billion photos of it, I just named them sequentially. And for those historic ones, I'm gonna grandfather them into the older naming convention. Amtrak 2035, somewhere in looks like Stamford. I'll tell you, I got really all about riding the Acela, especially in these. One thing I'm not going to say, oh, I wish I rode it more, is I've been doing a lot of AX riding. With Amtrak's new pricing schemes, you can get some ridiculously cheap AX rides, and you get way more. It's the best way to get points now. 2035. Again, I will just look this up real quick. Won't take too long. 2035. There it is. I'm just going to keep that original name as well. Two more. We have an SS. Oh, wow. I got 2039 with SS22 there. Don't know how I tried to do that one. Maybe I will rename this. Oh, and switch number 64. This is coming off, for anyone who doesn't know, this is at New Rochelle, right where the junction with the Hellgate line is. So we're just about, this is before they rebuilt it, and they still had those two movable point diamonds. Nah, I'm just going to keep it like this. All right, let's just, for the heck of it, let's just see if I have this already as the SS, as a shell picture. There it is. Perfect. Got it. Nice. All right. We are almost done. One more left after this. And they are of the Amtrak signals at Manor interlocking before they were installed. Now, I don't think I would have known what these were called at the time, or I talked to my friend. I can't really try to write in this. But doesn't matter. I got it. I forget if the Hellgate line is north-south or east-west again. I can figure it out pretty quickly. Looking at my Vermonter photos. East-west. Okie dokie. Well, thank you for anyone who stayed. I appreciate it, and thank you for all your help with all the information. That really makes it my job somewhat easier trying to get these out. Thank you so much for this. I'll just hold on. Let me just get back to the chat, see who's around. It's interesting if it's Telluride is there. It would be interesting to see what's in it. It's great if they saved the machine. It's probably nicer if it was still in the tower. I'm not sure how they would get them out. Bus depot, Boylston Street. That's the one. Yeah, there was no Type 6. So it's like you would think that they would. Why weren't the PCCs assigned a type? They weren't. So it went from Type 5 to Type 7. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. I just want to thank everyone because if you had noted or not, this was my final set of photos from my original. There's a couple caveats there. So it's sort of hard to count these. I'm not sure if I can count them on this. If I can do a count on my whatchamacallit here. Oh, I can. So before in my original when I got a digital camera, I got it in the early spring. I guess my first photo is February 2nd of 2002. 222. There you go. So maybe I got it for Christmas that year. Between that and I got my new camera. My Gen 2 digital camera would have been for the Septimid winter trip in 2006. So 4 years. I put together 119 sets of photos. Now, I haven't streamed all of them, but I have starting sometime actually pretty far back. I was slowly trying to redo these by better standards, better renaming, trying to wring as much quality out of these crappy old little 3-megapixel digital camera files I have. So I just want to thank everyone for tuning in and being along for the ride. I'm not completely out of content. 2007 has a lot of problems too, but we're going to have less problems. Less renaming. So I'm going to do a review of how much of that I'll probably end up redoing the 2007s. But I'm at some point I need to be like, hey, I kind of know what I'm doing here. But we'll see how far things will go. But I just want to thank everyone for since I started doing these streams a number of years ago. It's sort of slow and steady. Get them all out there. with all the guest photos, with all the other stuff. Been able to resuscitate all of these things that had been sort of Web 1.0 scrap binned, not very helpful, not very searchable. So anyway, I will be coming back tomorrow and the next day with my first of what will be my Gen 2 camera for the Septimid winter trip of 2006. We'll see how this goes. I think that there's a reasonable... when I say we'll see how this goes, there should be a reasonable number of photos. I went from memory cards that had smart medias that had 64 megabytes of capacity. That means 94 photos in each card, and I had 3 cards. To a 1 gigabyte XD card that would give me hundreds of photos. And I quickly started taking advantage of that. So as it is right now, there's 104 minus ones that I can probably eliminate. So it'll be a normal 2-day affair. But again, we're going to see how far into 2007 we can go going forward. But again, thank you very much. Let me just check in case anybody else had any comments. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, wait, what's up? Wait, who's friend requesting me on Discord? I'm technically on Discord, but we can figure out how to contact me on that. I never get how the Discord system works. It's sort of weird. But I will post things in chat tomorrow. Again, I'm not going anywhere. I'm here tomorrow. My Thanksgiving is about 5. I'm definitely going to be back by 9. I'll set it for the same time. Maybe I'll set it for 10. I'll set it a little bit later, maybe 11 o'clock. That'll get everybody home. I was planning on doing some urbex in Philly tomorrow, but I kind of don't want to do that on my own, and it's kind of limited content, limited value right now. So I'm going to hold off on that. I'm just going to enjoy my holiday. I had a great day on the NEC. If anyone's in Maryland, contact me. I'm going to be at Halethorpe on Sunday to see Amtrak's completely non-special service. But hey, it's whatever it is. It's a tradition. So everybody have a great day, good night, and happy Thanksgiving. And I'll wish you another happy Thanksgiving tomorrow. All right, see you. Bye.